If your team got guaranteed money, tell them call me.
Whoop. Make me say, my. I done been around the world.
Yeah, I was made for this.
Player Performance with J.A. Cavalier.
What's going on, everybody? Welcome to MLB Player Performance, the morning show, the Shark and the Gun. It is Saturday, the first Saturday of the summer, June the 21st, 2025. We got a big card for you guys today. Get in the chat, drop your plays, Gunz picks. What's going on, brother?
Yeah, beautiful Saturday. Can't wait to get into the weekend card. We got Saturday, Sunday, giving you guys content right here on the J Cavalier channel. So make sure you like and subscribe if you have not done so already. Having a great baseball week. Last 10 days been absolutely exceptional, absolutely profitable on my end, and want to continue to give you the information that pays the bills right here. Let's get into the card.
Yeah, coming off a nice 3-0 card myself. Saturdays are for sending it. MLB Player Performance starts right now.
I lit the bright lights, the type the crowd likes. Where you at, ballers? Ladies love me and men, they wanna be me, they pay to come see me. Where you at, ballers?
Saturdays are for sending it. Big card. First game on the card, 12:10. MLB TV, Tigers at Rays. Pitching change overnight, I believe. We are looking at Brant Herter starting for the Tigers. I believe he's an opener, only projected to go 1 inning. Ryan Pepio at home for the Rays. Pretty strong line here for the Rays, in my opinion, laying -142 now in most books. Tough game. Oftentimes when we open up these cards, the first game is not the most accessible game. Gunz, any thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I'm looking at the total on this one when I look at these two pitchers. Now that Brant Herter is going to be the starter in this one. He has a 2.33 ERA, 1.11 whip, 2.94 expected ERA. 2 starts under his belt with Detroit. He's 2-0 straight up and 2-0 to the under when he pitches. And then you talk about the aforementioned Ryan Pepiota. I don't even know how to say his name. I hate pronouncing these guys. I usually have to go to the announcers to tell me what the pronunciation of a lot of these last names are, but he has a 3.11 ERA, 1.10 whip, 3.76 expected ERA. But in his last 7 starts, Tampa is 6-1 to the under. But you have a high total here at 9, 8.5, depending on what books you're looking at that. If you're looking at numbers like that, Tampa is 2-1 to the over in Pepio's start when it's 9 or more, but it's 8.5. So in this situation, I lean towards the under on this one. It's not an official play, but if I was going to be playing this early game, if you're looking for a early degenerate special, I would say take the under in the first game on the board.
Yeah, I think, as I said when I opened this, just numerically, I think this does lean towards the Rays. Obviously, when you see a team who has been as hot as the Tigers in the early going, catching a significant underdog line, does speak to the Rays. If I was going to give you guys a free play in this one, take the Rays. Like our H-Town legend said, he cashed with Tampa Bay last night. People have been cashing with Tampa Bay for weeks. This team is really a buy team at this point. Obviously, scrappy team in a minor league stadium, Steinbrenner Field in Tampa. Take the Rays here as a free play if you want to bet this game. I got Edwin says, I need a winner. Let's win, Edwin, and let's keep it moving. 1 o'clock in New York. Yankees, Orioles, divisional baseball here in the AL East. Yankees laying 155. Clark Schmidt versus Zach Eflin. Zach Eflin obviously bounced around the last couple years. Philadelphia, Tampa Bay, now with Baltimore. Has not looked particularly good this early season. Clark Schmidt, equally sketchy, I would say, and unpredictable. This is going to be, in my opinion, a stock line overpriced 1-run projection win for the Yankees, sitting here at -171. We talk about this every time on this show. When you're looking at -170 to -200, the projection is usually a one-run win, just overpriced. Gunz, any thoughts?
I love what you just said there because I'm looking at the run line, but I'm looking at the Baltimore side on this one. When you look at Zach Eflin, he's 3-1 straight up in his starts as a dog. Not saying he's going to win this game, but he has performed well in the dog position. This is also the highest total for Eflin, at least on a tie standpoint, 9.5. The other game closed at 9.5 versus Washington. That went to 10-4. So if you want to take a total on this one, I probably lean towards the over. Not saying take the over, because Baltimore is 4-1 to the over in Eflin starts when the total is 9 or more. There's a lot of trends here when you're looking at the total. But you look at Baltimore 3-1 to the run line in Eflin starts as a dog as well. So he not only wins these games, but he also competes in these positions when he's sitting here as an underdog. And he's going against Clark Schmidt for the Yankees here. He's 3.16 ERA, 1.15 whip, 2.77 expected ERA. But when you go to the total here, while Eflin is more over in the situation, Schmidt is on the polar opposite. 5-2 to the under in his last 6 starts, 6-1 to the under as a favorite of -150 or more, which you have in this situation. However, the Yankees are 1-5 to the run line in Schmidt's last 6 starts. So you have a good position here where it's going to be very competitive. Whether or not Baltimore wins that game, I don't know about that, but I think they keep it close here. So if I was going to take it a play on this one, I will take it officially right here on the show. Give me Baltimore +1.5 as the play.
Yeah, I mean, I think if you're going to bet this game, the number is right for +1.5. Obviously, I said the money line is -171 for the favorite. +1.5 is -144. Obviously, both are a little pricey, but I think probably not a problem. And also a good buy low for Zach Eflin, coming off an absolutely abysmal start at Tampa Bay. 5 innings pitched, 12 hits, 7 earned runs, 2 home runs in the game. The only other time this year he was really notably terrible, he had an awful home start against Washington on Sunday, 5-18, 5 1/3, a very similar line, 10 hits, 8 earned runs, 4 home runs. He's been very susceptible to the home run ball this year, surprisingly, for a sinker ball pitcher. He did come back the following start off that terrible Washington home start and lose by 1 precisely on the road in the division at Boston on Saturday, May 24th. I think this projects to a Yankees 1-run victory, and the gun officially on +1.5. Keeping it moving, interleague baseball, 210 in Minnesota. Twins, Brewers, Simeon Woods Richardson laying 130 to Jose Quintana. Talked about Jose Quintana last week. We said he's inflated peripherally. He rarely goes more than 5 1/3 innings. He's got a lot of runners on base. And my first official of this show is Minnesota for that reason. Not highly complicated here. As I said, Quintana is very inflated, particularly on the road. We don't project him to go more than 5 1/3 in this game. And Simeon Woods Richardson is in his second year. Upstart pitcher, just pitched very well on the road. Much better at home historically in terms of his splits and efficiency. This is a nice buy spot for Minnesota, sitting here 1 game under 500, although notably better at home, 20-13. Milwaukee, pretty much the opposite. Better record, also worse on the road, 41-35, 18-20 on the road. Take Minnesota here as my first official -130. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I like you like the side. I'm going to give you some breakdown of why I like the total in this game, because I think there's an official play on the total here. You look at Jose Quintana, he's done well on the road this year. He's 3-0 in his last 5 starts with a 1.59 ERA, and Milwaukee is 4-1. Excuse me. 4-1 to the under in his last 5 starts. But this is the highest total that Quintana has seen all season, whether it's home or away. So the books are giving you a very high indicator that they're looking for runs in this spot. And Simeon Woods Richardson is a guy that can give up the runs. He has an expected ERA of 5.45 off a 5.13 ERA currently. Minnesota's also 3-1 to the straight up in Woods Richardson's home starts, 3-1 to the under. So you have 2 under pitchers, but you have a high total. So that's I'm kind of playing line functionality. We talk about it a lot on this show, even though if it doesn't make sense, it makes perfect sense. And I think we're looking at a very high scoring game, knowing that this number is sitting here at 9.5. I'm going to be taking the over in this one. Milwaukee, Minnesota over the total 9.5 as the play.
2 plays in that one, over for the gun, and take Minnesota at -130. Keeping it moving here. Obviously, big card, 15 games on this Saturday. Next game, 2:15, Cincinnati at St. Louis. We got divisional baseball here. Sonny Gray pushed back a couple days, was actually supposed to start midweek at Chicago, the White Sox. He's been off now for, I believe, 7 or 8 days, which is an interesting dynamic. He's laying pretty much his usual stock line here. This is very inflated at -200 in most books. Again, very similar conversation to what we said about the Yankees. Probably a 1-run projection. You don't really love laying 200. Pitcher for Cincinnati, Brent Suter. Not a ton of data. Can't say I love this game. Gunz, anything in this one?
Yeah, I'm kind of wondering what the dynamic is, at least, or the strategy, I should say, for the Cincinnati Reds coming into this game. Is Suter going to pitch like 1 or 2 innings, and then they're going to give it to Wade Miley? Because Wade Miley was listed as the original starter for this game, and now they're putting Suter in. Maybe they're going to give him an inning or 2 and then put in Wade Miley. We'll see how that happens. So let's cap this on Sonny Gray here for a second. St. Louis is 5-2 to the run line, 6-1 straight up in his last 7 starts. But you got to look at the total here. This is the highest total in Gray starts all season long. The highest total versus divisional opponents this year, when Gray is the starter, is 7.5. And you're seeing this line at 9.5, gives you a high indicator. And I think this is more predicated on the fact that you're looking at the total here, getting dipped down to 9, knowing that Brian Suter is going to be pitching. I think originally when the line came out, it was going to be Wade Miley, and Wade Miley has a 1.75 whip and an expected ERA of 8.08. So we'll see what that happens. He's got 2 starts under his belt with the Reds, 2-0 to the over in those situations. But how long is Brian Suter going to stay in that game? It's very hard to project. If I had to lean on this one, I'd probably lean towards the over at 9, knowing that even when the line didn't really move that much, even with Suter in there, it gives me an indicator that probably Wade Miley is going to be the pitcher for 4 or 5 innings, and we're going to see Suter for an inning and a half, maybe 2. We'll see what happens in this game. But if I had to lean on this one, not officially, I'd probably take the over in this game.
Yeah, I do think that it's a very noteworthy line for Sonny Gray. Obviously, Sonny Gray, journeyman veteran at this point, has bounced around the league, but very high efficiency at this point. I believe he's 35 years old. This is an extremely high line for a Sonny Gray game. So I think the best look in this game would be the over. Obviously, got officially on it. I'm just giving you guys a conversation. Keeping it moving. Next game, we're going same division, this time interleague. Wrigley Field in Chicago. Mariners at Cubs. Emerson Hancock at Cade Horton. I'm telling you guys that the Yankees an overpriced 1 run, and so are the Cardinals. This, in my opinion, could be some margin for the favorite here. This guy, Emerson Hancock, as a road underdog, has performed notably poorly dating back to last year, not overpowering in any context throwing the ball. I think the Cubs should be able to get some margin in this game tonight, or this afternoon, I should say. Gunz, any thought?
Yeah, I love this because the total was very alarming to me going in this one. It looked like there was a Colorado Rockies type of total, but Too Fast said it like, Cubs, don't be silly. The wind's blowing 20 miles plus. So that gives a high indicator. The ball's going to be humming out of this park today. I lean towards the over on this one for the sheer fact that Emerson Hancock is 3-1 into the over when the total is 9 or more. And you got to look at Cade Horton on the other side, 2-0 to the over when the total is 9.5 or more. And a lot of those are home starts. But yeah, what I say in this show, and we've said it before, is like, the line's going to tell the story, and the books are going to adjust appropriately for Cubs home games. And you're doing it right here in this game. It was an over yesterday, and I gave you that early play yesterday on the over at 9.5, and now you're seeing it at 12.5. I think this is probably going to be the highest total that you're going to see all year in Wrigleyville. So yeah, the only way I'd play this game, I'm not going to mess with the side. I'm just going to mess with the total. Even though it's at 12.5, it's going to sail over this total. A lot of runs in Wrigleyville today. Give me the over 12.5 as a play.
Yeah, I mean, you'd see this line. As you said, 12.5, highest line on the board. The Rockies game today is only 12. So let that tell you a story. Obviously, Rockies games historically the most bloated totals in the sport. Wrigley close second. And we said this going back midweek when we were on here. We said these home games for the Cubs in the middle of the afternoon. It is now, of course, the summer, the first Saturday of the summer. Our guys in the chat saying it. It's hot. And these pitchers are going to toil. And this guy, Emerson Hancock, on the road, as I said, has been awful for a while now. This is 2 seasons. Only game this year at this division, he did go over at Cincinnati 11-7. And you saw this yesterday. This is not specific to this game. This is just the league in general. You saw a lot of bloated totals yesterday. I think this is just how things are going to cluster for the league right now in the summer. Pitchers are going to be feeling the heat far more than the batters. There's going to be a lot of relief pitchers in these games. This is a really noteworthy total. This is not a space and value under because they're giving you some leeway here. Let the line tell you the story. Gunz with the sharp look here, over 12.5. Next game on the card, 3 o'clock, also involving Chicago. This one north of the border, Rogers Center in Toronto. Aaron Savali and the White Sox at Jose Barrios and the Blue Jays. Another game I can't say I love. Very similar line to the St. Louis game, right in the minus 200 range. Jose Barrios at home is very good. Savali very limited with the White Sox, obviously getting traded recently from the Brewers. This is a tough game. I can't say I love this game. Gunz, any looks in this one?
Yeah, I don't love this game either. This is one that I'm going to completely pass on. I do have a lean if you want some type of analytics on this one, but you have to know Savali is only in his second start with the White Sox, getting traded from the Milwaukee Brewers. He lost his first one to Kumar Rocker, and he's going to be pitching today. We'll talk about him as we get further in the board. But this is also the highest money line favorite here for Barrios with Toronto. When he is a minus 50 or more favorite, he's 2-0 straight up into the run line. So usually in those situations when the money line is that high with Barrios on the mound, gives you a high indicator that they're probably Toronto's going to dominate this game. Granted, they're playing the White Sox. Obviously, that is usually an indicator that they're going to win this game. However, I'm not going to be playing this one. It's too heavily juiced, and I don't want anything to do with it, so I'm passing on this game.
Yeah, in my opinion, this is probably the worst game to cap on the card. I think this is very overpriced. The Blue Jays are not a team you want to be laying minus 200 with, particularly if they do lose. You lose 2 units at the risk point. So not a great game here and keeping it moving. Next game on the card, 4 o'clock, Fox Sports 1, Rangers, Pirates, Interleague Baseball. Gunz are just talking about it. Kumar Rocker at Mitch Keller today. Official play for me. Take Pittsburgh here at minus 110. Again, let the line tell you the story. Sometimes in baseball, you don't have to go into immense detail. The books kind of just tell you the story in terms of what's going to happen in the game by their actual number. Pittsburgh is sitting here 30-47. Noteworthy poor record, but 19-20 at home. And Keller, we mentioned some of these guys the other day. Of course, Paul Skeens, legendary player in the making. Keller is the number 2 for this team. And he's been very solid at home now for a few years. We were making jokes about Kumar Rocker last week. I said it's Harold and Kumar crossed with John Rocker. The guy has not pitched well on the road at all. Take Pittsburgh here on the money line, and let's cash. Gunz, do you align, or are you backing Kumar Rocker?
I'm passing on this game altogether because you have 2 gas can pitchers in Kumar Rocker and Mitch Keller. But Kumar Rocker should perform better, or at least should improve as we get further into the season. His expected ERA is actually 6, where he has a 7.31 ERA currently. But on the road, not great, right? He's 0-4 straight up on the road with an average total after 5 innings, 6 or more in those positions. So you can't really back the Texas side at all, but you got Mitch Keller. Pittsburgh has not performed well for him. 4-12 straight up in Keller starts and 2-7 at home. So both pitchers kind of like lean towards you should be fading them. However, when you have 2 fade pitchers, you're basically at a coin flip, in my opinion. So I'm passing on this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think, again, let the line tell you the story. Pittsburgh, far worse record. And you said Mitch Keller 4-12. What did you say, 4-12 at home or 4-12 last?
4-12 straight up in his starts this year, but he's 2-7 at home.
Okay, yeah. Again, just a great buy low. And again, I think, one of the things that we talk about in all sports is knowing when to zoom in and zoom out. I think this is where you need to zoom out a little bit and understand 162 games. There's a lot of space here going forward for that record to improve. And when he actually has good data, I think the Pittsburgh bats are going to be able to get to Rocker here. And this is a Pittsburgh lineup that has really not hit the ball particularly well all year. This is definitely where you want to buy the Pirates today. Take them at 4 o'clock at minus 110. Also at 4 o'clock, more interleague baseball. This on the West Coast. This is 1 o'clock Pacific. Red Sox, Giants, game 2 of this series. Brian Bayo on the road at Landon Roop. Landon Roop, I believe, first campaign here. Not a ton of data. Bayo, a lot of projections coming out of Boston when he was drafted, saying he was going to be the next Pedro Martinez. Not so much just yet, I'll tell you that. Gunz has the hat on. Gunz is a Red Sox fan. Guns, we going for Red Sox today, or what do you think?
I'm not. I've been wearing the Red Sox hat way too much on this show, and people always think I'm going to be taking the Red Sox. Not so fast, my friend. And I'm not even going to be taking a side on this one. I do have a lean towards the total. I'm very total oriented here on the show today on this beautiful Saturday, but you got to look at the stats here. Brian Bayo is 2-5 straight up in his last 7 starts, but 5 of those were at home. So give that a little bit of a grain of salt on this one. But you look at the Boston side when Bayo is on the mound, 3-0 to the over in his last 3 road starts, and the total has ranged from 7.5 to 8.5. So we're seeing the total here at 7.5 right now. So don't be scared of taking over, even though the line is that low. Landon Rope on the other side, though, he has a 1.46 WHIP. His expected ERA is kind of right around his current ERA. He's 4-1 to the under in his last 5 home starts, but that's total has ranged from 7 to 8.5. And what has kept me off making this an official play is the sheer fact that when Rope goes on the road, points, runs happen, whether it's from him or whether it's from his offense when he's the starter. But Brian Bayo, his expected ERA is a lot higher than his current, and he's kind of played in this luck factor, and runs are scored on his side. So I don't know what's going to happen here. Is this going to be more of a rock fight, or is this going to be an absolute offensive explosion from both of these teams? I lean towards the over at 7.5, but it's not official for me.
Yeah, you did say when Roop goes on the road, this is
when he goes on the road, a lot of overs. When he plays at home, a lot of unders.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I was thinking that you were thinking this game was on the road. Okay, so Guns, looking at when you say over 7.5 here, 8.
Yeah, it's like over 7. Yeah, I'm seeing 7.5. You go to FanDuel right now, it's 7.5 with a little bit of juice.
Yeah. No, I would agree with that. I mean, our guy in the chat, H10, says Devers went 0 for 5 yesterday. You've seen this since Devers came over here. The team actually has not performed great. This is not the same psychology as basketball, where there's a lot of moving parts when they acquire a guy. I mean, every player in baseball pretty much stands alone within the lineup. But I think this team is very due to uptick in their efficiency from a lineup standpoint with Devers. So I definitely think the best look with the gun here would be over, and the market is agreeing. That's getting steamed up. 7.5 now 8. Take the over in this game, and let's dominate. Next game on the card, 4:10. Divisional baseball here in Miami. Braves, Marlins. Atlanta laying a pretty short number here, in my opinion. Only minus 150 minus 157 in most books. Grant Holmes, Yuri Perez. Yuri Perez missed all last year. This kid is only 22. He's an absolute flamethrower. Total projection to ace quality in his career. Holmes actually has looked great in recent history. Tough game here, in my opinion. I think plus 1.5 for the underdog here has some merit. Guns, any thoughts?
I don't hate that look, and that's a very good way to take this game, because I didn't really have an official play on this, on the sheer fact that really Yuri Perez has only had road starts, and this is kind of his first home start of the year. And then Grant Holmes, Atlanta's really underperformed for him, especially when he's a heavy favorite of minus 140 or more, 2-4 straight up in those situations. So if you're playing this game strategically, probably taking Miami at plus 1.5 is probably the way to go with this one, knowing that Yuri Perez has the expected ERA of 4.69, whereas current ERA is 6.43. But like I said, he's only had road pitches as a starter this year. This is his first home start. Maybe this is one of those indicators that he is going to get better. And then when he goes home, he might be highly motivated. He's coming off a 3-1 win versus Washington in his previous start on the road. So I think Shark's right. People in the comments say we agree way too much. It's because we capped the same way. But I would say this. The only way to play this is play 1.5 to play a little bit of insurance on this one. I don't know what the juice is on that game, but it's minus 128, that what I'm seeing right now. I think that's the way to play this game, is take Miami plus 1.5 or pass.
Yeah. Take plus 1.5 here, and let's keep it moving. Divisional baseball, 7:00 in Philadelphia. Mets, Phillies. This is a Fox National game, and for good reason. This is a huge rivalry. It's the New Jersey corridor spanning Philadelphia going north to New York. We are in Philadelphia tonight. Mick Abel, rookie pitcher versus Griffin Canning. The Mets have lost 7 straight games. People were talking about it in the chat before, and I'm just thinking about New York baseball in general. The Yankees have looked absolutely terrible, and the Mets, as I said, 7 straight losses. At some point, this team is going to win. I mean, this is not a team like the Rockies or the Nationals that is really not of any quality. This team has World Series aspirations. And I think just zooming out to the entire league, when you find high-quality teams on losing streaks at this level, it's a great buy spot. Because of that, I would lean towards the Mets tonight. Gunz, any agreement there?
I mean, I don't really have a play on this game, but what I'll say about Griffin Canning on the mound, he's due for some regression, and it shows in his expected ERA, and it showed in his last 5 starts. He had the 3.80 ERA right now, 1.4 WHIP, 4.45 expected ERA, and he's regressed in his last 5 starts, going 2 and 3 straight up in his last 5 outings. The under's been really heavy with the Canning starts, 2-3-0 to the under when the total is 10 or more. This is a very high total for a Mets Philly type of game on this one. But when the total is high, it's kind of worked into Canning's favor. When the total is 10 or more this season, he's 5-0 straight up. So maybe it is more of a Mets side than it is a Philly side. On the other side, Mick Abel, 2.21 ERA, 1.03 WHIP, but his expected ERA is very high with a 4.76. So he's due for regression. Is it going to happen in this game? We'll have to see. But you got to look at Philly 3-1 straight up in Abel starts and 4-0 in first 5s. If you're looking at that one, but it's kind of going positive for both pitchers on this one. The expected ERA for Mick is a little bit concerning with me, and Griffin, who's really performed when the total is very high in his starts, going 5-0 straight up. If there's any lean on this one, I'd probably lean towards the over. But I'm not going to make this an official play because I think there's stats on the under and the over on that side. So it really it's a pass for me. But if I lead one or the other, I'm going to take the total on the over.
Yeah, I definitely think this is a Mets spot. This kid, Mick Abel, obviously first campaign here. He's only 23 years old. He's only had 2 home starts this year against Pittsburgh, his first major league start, and most recently on Tuesday, June 10th against Chicago. Key point here, though, he's actually pitched great on the road. 2 road starts at Toronto and most recently at Miami in the division. Home has been a different story for this guy. His only home start in June, again, against Chicago, 4 innings pitched, 6 hits, 3 walks, 3 earned runs, 3 home runs against. I think this guy, for whatever reason, very young, but he's functioning better on the road. Mets on an L7. And one final point on this, when you look, I'm looking at DraftKings right now. Something we haven't actually talked about yet, at least the Shark and the Gun version of MLB player performance here, is how you look at game run line versus money line. Sometimes the road team is actually favored on the run line for the game, but an underdog in terms of the money line. And this is what you're seeing here. DraftKings currently has the Mets as a slight underdog, -106. Philadelphia is -114. They have the Mets actually at -1.5, +144. Philadelphia is actually an underdog juice on the run line, +1.5, -176. Very noteworthy from books. Books actually think the Mets could get some margin here, and it's what I said. L7, Abel at home, giving you guys a free play. Take the Mets at -106, and let's cash. Keeping it moving. Next game on the card, also Fox National, Interleague Baseball in San Diego. This is 7:15 Eastern. Of course, 4:15 in San Diego. Kansas City at San Diego. Noah Cameron at Dylan Cease. Pretty stock line here, in my opinion. Dylan Cease, obviously, very, very high-quality pitcher. Noah Cameron has looked very good, was not projected to get this type of burn in the league at this point. Obviously, a couple injuries to the pitching staff with Kansas City has given him a spot in the rotation. I know Gunz mentioned Noah Cameron on one of our last shows. I think you are a fan to a certain degree of this guy's quality. I honestly don't love the price. I think this is very well priced for a one-run projection. Any thoughts?
I think he's an undervalued pitcher. That's why I keep bringing him up all the time. I mean, he has a 1.19 ERA, 0.90 WHIP. His expected ERA is 3.08. But the problem is, every time he pitches from a full game perspective, KC is underperformed 2-5 straight up in Cameron starts, but 4-1-2 to the first 5. So he is a first 5 type of pitcher. If you actually look at those 7 starts, 5 shutouts in 5 innings with Cameron. So Cameron has performed very well. He only got shelled once this season. The Yankees put up 5 runs on him. That was the only team that actually hit this guy. And then Dylan Cease has kind of been yin and yang. You don't know what you're going to get out of him from a day-to-day basis. Why I say that you shouldn't be taking KC in a full game perspective, knowing that KC is underperformed and Cameron starts going 2-5 straight up in 7. I think there's a first 5 inning window here that we could probably take advantage of. And you can get it at plus 124, plus 125 right now. And if you want to get that, maybe a little bit of insurance on this one, you can still buy it at a half a run and get it at like minus 115. If you want to take that one. But I think that I think this is a great spot to be taking a Cameron first 5 money line over the San Diego team, and then probably San Diego is going to shell up like 8 or 9 runs after 5. That's kind of where I'm seeing this game going.
You heard it here first. 8 or 9 runs from the Padres.
Don't quote me on that one. I just think that KC will lose the full game. However, first 5, you got to ride Cameron as much as you can and take advantage of the money.
Must be Saturday. The Gunz firing off 9 runs after the 5th inning in San Diego. Take the over in this game per the gun and
no, first 5 KC. Let's not put that out there to the zeitgeist. We're doing KC money line first 5. That's it.
Okay, excuse me. KC first 5 money line for the gun, and we'll keep it moving. Divisional baseball in Colorado, 9:10. I believe that is 7:10 local Mountain Time. Diamondbacks, Rockies, Merrill Kelly at Carson Palmquist. I think this is obviously leaning towards the Diamondbacks. You saw the Diamondbacks last night put up 14 runs in this stadium. Another high line around 12. Merrill Kelly has great numbers in the last 2 seasons against the Rockies, and that includes road starts at altitude. I don't think he'll be phased here. I think this is a very nice spot to fade Palmquist and probably take something involving Arizona. Gunz. Any agreement, or what do you think?
I'm going to disagree with you on that one. I think there is an opportunity here to be taking. I'm not saying that Colorado's going to win this game. I think there's an opportunity to take advantage of a pitcher that is undervalued in the market from a statistical perspective, because Merrill Kelly has a 3.99 expected ERA from his 3.41 ERA currently. This is also the highest total that he's had in all of his starts this year, but but when Arizona faces left-handed pitching, which is a key point on this one, they're ranked 23rd in the league in win percentage. They only beat left-handed pitching at a 44.7% hit rate. So backing this Arizona team is a little bit dangerous. Also, look how Arizona has performed on the run line versus divisional opponents, except for yesterday's game. Let's throw that out the window, because we did take the over on that one at 14-8. I think Shark had a video on that one, but they're 1-3 to the run line. So backing Arizona might be good from a win perspective, but it's always a close and competitive game. And with Carson Palmquist, while his numbers don't look great, a 7.76 ERA, 1.76 whip, 6.42 expected ERA, he's 2-0 to the run line in his last 2 starts, so he's getting better. I think you also got to look at the line functionality on this one, because Palmquist has already pitched against Arizona. He pitched him on May 16th. He was a plus 320 road dog in that one. He lost 8-0. But now you're seeing the line here of like what, plus 176 currently. I think this is more of a run line perspective than it is a full game perspective. I'm not saying take Colorado on the run line, but I think this Colorado team has the capabilities to keep it close. I'll make this official on the show. Give me Colorado plus 1.5 as a play.
Yeah, I don't have anything official on this. I do think you're going to see this game just go all over the place from the Colorado pitching standpoint, because this kid, Palmquist, at home this year, only 2 home starts. He hasn't made it past the 5th inning in either of them. 4 1/3 against Philadelphia on 521, 10 hits, 7 runs, 2 home runs against San Francisco in the division Tuesday, June 10th. 4 innings pitched at home, 97 pitches. So I think he's going to labor. You're going to see the bullpen here quite a bit. I wouldn't disagree. The number does seem a little bit short. When Palmquist faced Arizona in Arizona, that was Corbin Burns. And books do have Burns weighted, obviously, at a slightly higher level than Kelly. Tough game for me here. Gunz on plus 1.5. But I do think you're going to see a lot of moving parts here in terms of the pitching from Colorado. Staying course here. Next game on the card. Also divisional baseball in Los Angeles tonight. Houston at LA. B. Walter, that is Brandon Walter, Jose Soriano. Tough game here, in my opinion. Soriano has pitched a lot better this year on the road, interestingly enough. You don't love backing him at home, although the line does suggest an Angels win tonight. The theme of the show that was not pre-planned, but it's certainly taking course here. These teams that are under 500 laying to teams that are way over 500, Houston being the point of this conversation, 44-32, slight underdog, Angels 36-39. The books definitely are leaning towards the Angels in this game. I can't say I've gotten there yet, but the number is standout. Gunz, any thoughts?
Yeah, I haven't got there yet, but I do have leans on this one. And you kind of gave, like, as far as a market standpoint, you've given the indicator that of where I'm leaning on this one, because Brandon Walter, his numbers are great. 1.53 ERA, 0.91 whip. His expected ERA, however, is 4. So he's due for regression, and it hasn't happened yet. Only 3 starts under his belt, and Houston is 2-1 straight up in those starts. However, this is his first divisional home game. He hasn't faced anybody inside the division yet, and this will be the first game. And then Jose Soriano, a little bit more experience. His ERA and his expected ERA are kind of right on each other. But you look at Soriano, he's 2-1 straight up, 3-0 to the under versus divisional opponents, and both. But you have to take that with a little bit of a grain of salt, because 2 of ththose wins were against the aforementioned Athletics. Athletics not one of the better teams in the league, of course. But the Angels are also 5-1 to the under in Soriano's last 6 starts, and he's 4-2 straight up in those positions. So really, you have the Soriano that, at least the Angels have performed well when he's been the starter. So I lean towards taking the Angels side, and I also lean towards the under, because I think there's going to be a little bit of a rock fight here from a scoring perspective. If Walters does pitch to his ERA, Soriano's going to match it. So I think there is a dynamic there. It's going to be a low scoring affair. And I think it's going to be more on the Angels side than it is Houston. Not an official from me, just a couple leans though. If I was leaning one direction or the other, I'd take the Angels money line and the under.
Yeah, as I said, I haven't gotten there yet, but I do think the Angels are the sharp side in this game. Next game on the card, 10:05. Oakland hosting Cleveland. Of course, this is not in Oakland. This is in Sacramento, another minor league park here, Sutter Park Stadium, or Sutter Health Park, excuse me. Interesting game here. Luis Ortiz at Spence. Ortiz on the road has been very poor. Second consecutive road start, both on the West Coast. Coming off a start where he gave up 5 earned runs to the Mariners. Very high walk rate on the road for Ortiz. If you guys can get some over walk bets going, I think it's probably the best look. If you get like over 3 walks or something like that, he's gonna labor for sure. Noteworthy line here yet again, a very short line, -125, -130. The Athletics are very, very inconsistent. I wouldn't call them a complete gas can. They do have some talent in the lineup. They're just very, very unpredictable and inconsistent game to game. We saw them cluster upward in the early going of the season, and then we saw them be absolutely terrible last month for about 15 to 20 games. This is, in my opinion, one of the harder games to cap on the card. Gunz, any thoughts?
I don't think it's hard. I think there is a position that you can take on this one, because Luis Ortiz is on the bump for Cleveland. He's 0-3 straight up and 3-0 to the under versus AL West teams. So he's underperformed every time he has to face these teams out west. He's got a 4.64 ERA, 1.47 whip. His expected ERA is right on his current ERA, but he's going against Mitch Spence, and Mitch Spence has a 3.50 ERA. His expected ERA is a little bit higher. But you look at Spence has 3 starts under his belt, and in first 5s, he's done very well. He's only given up 2 runs in those 3 starts in first 5 inning windows. So I think there's an opportunity here with Spence on the bump going against Ortiz that really, like Shark alluded to, he's given up walks. He puts guys on the bags, and that kind of eventually leads to runs, right? So if we're doing this in a 5-inning split, I'm not saying the Athletics will win in a full game perspective, but look at the line shift from the Athletics being a dog full game and then being the favorite in first fives. That gives you a high indicator the books are telling you here. I think this is an official play for me. Give me the Athletics money line first five as a play.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't disagree. As I said, short line here. This is definitely a numerical lean towards the Athletics. Gun on the first five and keeping it moving. Final game on the card, Nationals, Dodgers. Jake Irvin at Dustin May, 10:10 p.m. in Los Angeles. Not a great game here. This is really just your chalk special. There's no real great look in this game, in my opinion. You got a huge line here. You're laying minus 272 on the money line. The run line is very short. Minus 1.5 is only minus 136. They're kind of telling you this is just an unpredictable game. The Dodgers obviously are the champs. They have the best team in the league. Jake Irvin, slight upside pitcher, but just a tough one here. Gunz, anything in this one?
I think there's a take on the total. I don't think there's a take on the side on this one because Jake Irvin and Dustin May have faced Washington and the Dodgers before. It happened in April. So you have a little bit of data on this one. You look at Jake Irvin. Washington has won 3 out of the last 4 in Irving starts versus the NL West. So he has competed very well against the NL West. This is the highest money line, though, for Washington versus the NL West when Irvin pitches. So kind of giving a little bit more of an indicator that maybe it's more of a Dodgers side than it is trying to get cute and trying to take the Washington Nationals in this position. But Irvin did lose to the Dodgers back in April, 6-5. He was a plus 168 dog in that situation. The total was 9. Then you got to look at Dustin May on the other side. Very good home pitcher. He's 4-1 straight up in his last 5 starts. And then he, of course, faced Washington back on April 7th. And he lost that game, by the way, 6-4. But the total on that game was 7.5. So the books are very much adjusting to this one, making it a little bit of higher total, knowing that May is at home. And I think it's a high indicator that we're probably looking towards an overside. Also, the Dodgers are 3-1 straight up versus the NL East in May's starts. That one loss was the only one that he has. So there may be a little bit of a revenge angle here for Dustin May. But let's not get cute. Let's not take the run line. It's very heavily juiced to even take the money line. I think it's going to be Washington Dodgers over is the way I would play this one. Not an official play, just a lean, but I think that's the way I'd play this game.
Take the over per the gun, and let's dominate. It's 15 games in a fast 43 minutes, and we got best bets. Saturdays are for sending it. The Shark and the Gun. The first Saturday of the summer. Gunz picks top plays.
Yeah, my top plays. I'm Mr. F5. I'm Mr. Worldwide. I'm going to give you 2. I think the Athletics first 5 money line is a good play, and I think KC money line first 5 is a good play. Let's back Cameron. Let's back Spence. Let's get the lead after 5, and then whatever happens after that. But I think those are the best looks that I have on the board there. KC money line first 5 and Athletics money line first 5 is the 2 that I love.
Yeah, I got 3 plays for you guys on this card. I said it. My guy Chad in the chat talking about it. Take the Mets. L7. Mick Abel far worse at home. You want to buy low on a team that really does have World Series aspirations off a sustained losing streak. Great spots in the sport to find teams that are undervalued like this in small windows. Take the Twins and the Pirates. And let's cash. Gunz, let's put together a small parlay for the guys. My guy Ralph says, Shark, what's up, Ralph? What's going on? Angelo, Chad, of course, and others. Guys, drop your players in the chat. We're going to give you guys a parlay now. Gunz, let's get it going.
Yeah, I think we start this out with, let's put a Baltimore run line there, plus 1.5. I really like that one today versus the Yankees. Let's do, I like your 2 plays that you have there in the Pittsburgh and Minnesota game. I think we should put those on there. And God, man, those first 5s are just staring me bright and shining with the Athletics on the first 5 and the KC on the first 5. I think we have to put those on the parlay.
Okay, give me those again. I'm just writing it down. What were the first 5 ones? KC.
Yeah, we got Athletics money line first 5.
Okay,
and then
what have KC?
Yeah, let's not get cute with the KC one. Let's do KC plus half a run first 5.
Plus half. Okay, what's the price on that?
Minus 115.
Okay. And Oakland first 5. What's the price on that?
Minus 114.
Okay. So that's 1, 2, 3. That's 5. Do we like any totals? I know we said the over at Wrigley, perhaps.
Yeah, that's a good one too. 12.5 or 12.
Okay, we'll roll with that. As I said, Emerson Hancock on the road, not great, and it's going to be hot. And somebody said the wind's blowing out as well. There should be like 14 runs in this game. Mariners, Seattle, Chicago Cubs over 12.5. Just any other spots?
Yeah.
Want to do the over with the Nationals game?
Yeah. Let's do that. 9.5.
All right. Washington Dodgers over 9.5. All right, that's good. I'm typing it in the chat now.
Okay.
All right, there's the parlay. Baltimore plus 1.5. Minnesota money line. Pittsburgh money line. KC plus a half. First 5. I mistyped that. That's first 5 plus a half. Oakland first 5 minus 114. Seattle, Chicago over 12.5. And Washington, LA Dodgers over 9.5. We appreciate you guys immensely in the chat for hanging out with us on a Saturday. We will be back tomorrow morning on Sunday at 11 a.m. Shark in the Gun. Guys, give him some words, and I'll close it out.
Yeah, if you want to go check us out on Telegram, it's @lose_Gunz and @lose_Shark. Go check us out with all the plays, conversation, analysis, and everything like that. Also, check us out on Instagram as well, @lose_Gunz, @lose_Shark. And just like and subscribe to the channel here at the J Cavalier channel. That's all we ask you to do. We give you this information for the low price of $0.00. All you have to do is hit the like button on the video. So appreciate all you guys joining us here on this beautiful Saturday. Let's just have ourselves a damn day.
Absolutely. 11:49 a.m. Eastern. We know you guys out in the West Coast getting up early for a big card in Major League Baseball on this Saturday. We appreciate you guys immensely. We'll see you guys tomorrow morning at 11 for J Cavalier Cash Tickets around the world. The prop master and Coach Rick. He is the gun. I am the shark. Stay strong, stay fast, stay disciplined, and let's dominate.
Cut my life into pieces. This is my last resort.